On this channel, you'll hear me refer to agents when talking about concepts or hypothetical examples. I just wanted to do an informational video on agency and what it means to be an agent. Often when I describe to people what agency is, I'll have them just think about physical reality. Geological processes can take millions to billions of years to play out, but they follow preset physical laws. The change we see was determined to happen, and we can speculate about the future of these long-term processes by building models according to the physical laws we know that are in place, and we can see to a degree what will happen in the future. Agency seems to be a qualitatively different type of contingency when compared to that of the sort of cold mechanical laws of the physical universe. Agents can start or stop the causes and effects of physical chains of contingency in a way that seems to infer new first causes. Agents are still confined to the physical laws of the universe externally, but they have the power to intervene and create, or more basically just react in a way that isn't expected by the physical models of determinism alone. Many specialist philosophers talk about agency, so I definitely suggest doing a deep dive yourself. But my view, I would keep the definition of agency simple as to include any kind of emergence that can move and react to its environment. Even plants do this. Any form of life that can react to its environment, in my view, understands and should be considered to have agency. The definition of agency should be an everything but type of definition. For instance, we know that rocks don't react to their environment. They follow the laws of physics. So all substances and objects that are completely subject to physical laws with no way to react are determined and are not agents. When I say agent, what I mean mostly is humans. But agency extends to any essence that can react to its environment in a way that's not caused by the basic laws of physics. This doesn't require consciousness the way we understand it, or sentience, just the ability to react. This is where I might expect someone to say, hey, well, AI can react. Does AI have agency? At this point, I'd say no, because AI reactions are seemingly like very complicated domino chain reactions. Also, their programming captures human agency. So if AI was considered to have agency, I think it would be a mirror of human agency reflected back to us. We'll talk more about this kind of stuff in the future as I plan to steer the channel towards new questions about AI as they become more advanced. That's always kind of been my long game with this channel. I'm just in the build-up phase and AI is still in the early development phase. Agency involves the ability to initiate and control one's actions and to make choices that are not wholly determined by external forces. The concept of agency is closely related to notions of autonomy and freedom. Key concepts in agency. Free will. Free will is the idea that agents have the power to choose among different possible courses of action. This is a central topic in discussions of agency as it raises questions about determinism and the extent to which agents can be said to have control over their actions. Moral responsibility. Moral responsibility concerns the extent to which agents can be held accountable for their actions. This is deeply connected to agency, as being morally responsible typically requires that an agent has the capacity to understand the moral implications of their actions and to have acted freely. Intentionality. Intentionality is the capacity of agents to have intentions, plans, and purposes. It refers to the directedness of the mind toward objects, states of affairs, or outcomes. Intentionality is crucial for understanding agency, as it helps explain how agents can act with purpose and aim. Autonomy. Autonomy refers to the ability of agents to govern themselves, make their own decisions, and act accordingly to their own values and principles. An autonomous agent is self-directing and not merely subject to external control or coercion. Intention and action. Some philosophers have explored the relationship between intention and action in understanding agency. The ability to form intentions and act on them is seen as a key aspect of agency. Collective agency. Some philosophers discuss the concept of collective agency, the idea that groups or institutions can have agency beyond that of the individuals that compose them. Artificial agency. With advances in AI, there's growing philosophical interest in whether artificial entities can possess genuine agency and what that might entail. Agency and personhood. Agency is often considered a key component of personhood. Philosophers debate what level of agency is required for an entity to be considered a person, causal agency. Some philosophers distinguish between different types of agency. Causal agency refers to the ability to bring about changes in the world, while rational agency involves the capacity for reason-guided action. Agency and consciousness. There are going to be debates about the relationship between agency and consciousness. Some argue that genuine agency requires consciousness, while others contend that unconscious processes can also exhibit forms of agency. I talk about ethical decision making a lot, so I talk a lot about agency and agents quite a bit. Also, terminology like calling an actor in a scenario an agent reminds the listener we're talking about philosophy, and it indirectly suggests a scientific perspective in evaluating the scenario. I intend to be as objective as possible and make sure that the philosophies that I promote are valid, or as valid as I can make them according to what is known in modern science. Philosophers have to have their ear to the ground scientifically so we don't spin off into magic land. Philosophy has a legitimate place, and as good philosophers, we owe the space our dedication to its integrity and evolution. If you like this kind of philosophical subject matter, help us slowly grow the channel by liking the video and subscribing.